What is going on, everybody? I am the FDGURU, bringing to you guys a Wednesday MLB edition of my DFS podcast. We have a 9-game main slate tonight, 3 games in the after-hours slate. We also have a few early games as well, but the contests are really bad, so I'm not going to play that. The 4 games at 6:35. They prioritize the 2-game early slate today, so we'll be looking at the main slate tonight and the 3-game after-hours slate. Really, really good-looking slate tonight. One of my favorite slates to recent memory. We have, about as many high over-unders as we've seen all season. We have the Phillies and Dodgers at a 9.5. We have the Red Sox and Athletics again at a 10. We have the Reds and Rockies at a 9.5. We have the Mets and Nationals at a 9.5. And then we have a couple 8.5s in there as well. And the Braves and Diamondbacks is a 9 over-under. So a majority of these games have a 9 or higher over-under, and we don't usually see that, especially this season. So I'm going to give you guys some value plays I like. The cash team yesterday did really well. Ended up fading out with the other lineups. But again, I do really like this slate, and hopefully these plays help you out. Yesterday's plays did really well if you took them. So let's get into tonight's slate. We're going to be really targeting the Red Sox once again in this matchup against the Athletics. They scored 12 runs last night, or 11. They almost blew it. They ended up giving up 9 runs to the Athletics. But Brian Bello had an unbelievable start to that game. He struck out the first 10 outs of the game were strikeouts from Bello. He ended up with 11 strikeouts. He cooked. I like going to Nick Pivetta for the same reasons tonight. He looks like the best value play by a landslide tonight. He's projected the most fantasy points over any other pitcher on this slate. $9,000 is a pretty good price on him. He's been very up and down. We know his strikeout upside, as we see in his game log, a couple of 8s, a couple of 9s, a 10 last game. He can also get blown up, but it looks like the times he has gotten blown up have been against, really good teams. The Padres, the Braves, and the Brewers, all good offenses. The Athletics, not as scary. I think he does well tonight. There's a reason why he's projected for the most fantasy points. Nick Pivetta looks really good at $9K, and, not too expensive. We'll be able to, have some fun with the bats as well, spending up on guys. So that's why just overall this slate looks really good. Another pitcher I was eyeing, I wasn't eyeing Valdez until now, but against the Marlins, he could be pretty good. His upside should be there. He's 9,800 though. If you wanted, a tournament guy with lower ownership, I would look at Valdez. But the guy you could look at for cheap is $7,400 Tobias Myers. Good matchup against the Pirates. He is a -160 favorite. He's at home. He's been pretty good this year. 3.52 ERA. I think he's a rookie. As you can see, let's see, 5 of his last 6 starts, he's gone 6 or more innings. So he's been looking good. His upside is there. Obviously, they have no problem with stretching him out if he's playing well. And the Pirates' offense isn't that great. So I do like Tobias Myers. I'm probably going to have Pivetta on my cash and hybrid and Tobias Myers on my GPP tonight. One other cheap guy you could look at, strictly for the matchup, is Frankie Montas against the Rockies. Anytime a pitcher's against the Rockies, not at Coors Field, they're going to look pretty good. So I don't mind Montas, but I do like Tobias Myers more. For catcher first base, he's going to be chalky tonight. It's looking like the top teams to stack on this slate are the Red Sox, the Reds, the Mets, the Phillies, and, these guys are cheap, especially on the Mets. Pete Alonso, 3,200 against Patrick Corbin. We all know how bad Patrick Corbin is. 1-8 record, 5.5 ERA. The Nationals signed him to a huge contract, and that is just going to bite them in the ass in the long run. This guy's bad. He'd probably not be a starting pitcher anymore if he didn't sign such a big contract. Mets are minus 192 favorites, 9.5 over-under, so they're competing with the Red Sox as the highest run projected team total on this slate. Like I said, in order it goes Red Sox, Mets, Reds, but it's all very close. Pete Alonso at only 3,200 looks great. The Mets in general look great. Again, there's a reason why I said this is one of the best slates I've seen, because there's so many great looking spots. Mets are one of them. I like Pete Alonso at 3,200. For second base, we have to wait and see until the lineup comes out. Jonathan India would be a great play with a righty-lefty matchup against the Rockies. The wind is 13 miles per hour out at Cincinnati. Not that we even need the wind. Cincinnati's already a hitter's paradise, and Kyle Freeland is also a hitter's paradise. So we have three positives in this Reds game for the Reds. We have Kyle Freeland on the mound with a 6.6 ERA. We have the winds blowing out almost 15 miles per hour, and we're playing in Cincy, which is already a hitter's ballpark. The Reds look great tonight, as I've said numerous times already tonight. Jonathan India got scratched yesterday with a knee issue, so he's questionable. We're obviously going to get that lineup very soon. That game's at 7:10 Eastern, so whoever's in the top of this lineup is going to look great. India, if he is in leading off, looks great at 3,100. To put in a guy who we actually know is going to play, Spencer Steer should be batting, 2, 3, or 4, and he looks awesome at 3,600. He's projected some of the most fantasy points over any other hitter tonight. With this matchup, righty-lefty against Kyle Freeland, I like Spencer Steer a lot. This guy, kind of came onto the scene a year or two ago, and he has great upside. This guy hits the ball hard. 60 RBIs for them on the year already. Steer looks good. He looks, good, but he can also play, 3 different positions on FanDuel. For the outfield, we're going to want to get a lot of Red Sox in our lineups again. Like last night, if you didn't have Red Sox in your lineups, you were not going to cash. Tonight could be the very, very similar situation. Rob Reifsnyder might be the best value play on the entire slate, batting second. He is in a very similar spot that we saw. Is it Danny Hamilton or David? Might be David Hamilton. David Hamilton, lefty-righty matchup last night, was batting second. He was very popular at sub 3K. We just flip our David Hamilton stocks right into Rob Reifsnyder stocks tonight. Righty-lefty matchup against J.P. Sears of the Athletics, who's been struggling as of late. 2,600. I would say he's going to be popular, but for good reason. You should get him in most of your lineups tonight. And then the last play, another very chalky play tonight. Tyler O'Neill at 3,400, batting third. Righty-lefty matchup also looks really, really good. Jarren Duran and Rafael Devers are always going to look good, but I'm going to give the advantage to these guys because it's a righty-lefty matchup, whereas with Devers and Duran, it's lefty-lefty, but they could still smash. These should be the first 2 Red Sox in your lineups, though, tonight. They look really good at their respective prices. That'll do it for this video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Like it, subscribe, and let's crush the slates tonight. Until tomorrow, I am the FD Guru. Peace.